Another wonderful day here in the deep south, blue skies, bit of crispness about the grasses and coolness in the air. And same for you two guys, where you are. Yes.
Yep,
Certainly,
no, beautiful weather here. Fog and frost.
and yeah, it's going to be a nice day here. It's -1 at the moment, very foggy and very frosty, but be a beautiful day afterwards.
Excellent. That's all we need. It's a beautiful day. So today we're doing a little bit different. I've invited Peter Breen along, who's one of the executive committee and also one of the background workers who has been working on the Give a Little page and the changes that have taken place. So, Pete, give us some idea of on one hand, we were looking at funding legal action, and now we're looking at doing support things. How did all that come about for you?
Okay, thanks, Dennis. What I thought I'd do is actually give everybody a breakdown on what's been happening for the last few years, so to speak. So I know it's been a bit of a mystery for a lot of people, but I must say that, and it's been going on for a long number of years now, but I must say the delay has not been created on our part. So it has been frustrating not being able to share the news with all the people on Facebook and whatever. So I hope this little talk might just spill the beans somewhat. So as you said, Dennis, some years ago we were tasked with the job of seeking recognition for service in Singapore, Malaysia for the years 1974 to 1989. To this end, we have written and read hundreds and hundreds of pages and letters, books, magazines, top secret docs, etc., chasing our goal. So we've sent 4 Official Information Act requests to the NZDF, and just for everybody's information, the 4 were, the first one was the PJM medal. Was it originally offered to 1989, as Rifle Company Butterworth believe? Now, we have a letter signed by a Lieutenant Colonel Dennis from the Australian Army, who stated that it was offered till 1989. Unfortunately, the Colonel is deceased, and NZ Defence have hedged on the answer, so that's a no-go. But anyway, the second one, Operation Armilla, it originally awarded a GSM and an OSM, but with non-qualifying operational service. So this was around the Falklands wartime. Then in 2014, they were awarded qualifying operational service. Now we're going, what changed? Well, according to Defence, the legislation changed, and that's their answer. And we can't argue with that because Frank smiling in the background, I think he knows that nothing had actually changed between the years other than the stroke of somebody's pen. So the third one was the threat assessment in the Joint Working Group report, which compared service in New Zealand to being the same as service in Singapore, Malaysia. But there is no threat assessment ever been done for New Zealand. So it's a comparison you can't make, but it's a comparison they did make, and they're sticking with it. The fourth one is critical information was missing from the Joint Working Group report. That was written by Defence. Now, their answer to that critical information is that NZDF states the Joint Working Group report was accepted by the government, so no further work will be done for recognition of service from 1955 to 1989. That's the 4 OIAs. So the next step was I lodged a complaint with the Ombudsman's office to investigate our concerns. Their investigation has only occurred in the last 2 months, so that's how long we've been waiting. And we have received a preliminary reply, which, to be honest, is not that flash for us. So we have a right of reply, which we have to have in by the 22nd of August. I don't really think we're going to change anybody's mind in that such a short time frame. So I got to thinking about where are we going to head with this. So that started last week. I started a conversation with Dennis and Rowley around the potential outcomes of where we're heading, which led into our Give a Little page. So the original fund we were going to set up was going to fund our legal case with NZDF and estimated to cost around $250,000, a lot of money in anybody's language. And that was to fund the initial case and an appeal and another appeal if needed, if further action was needed. Now, I don't know about you people, but think we're all getting just a little bit older. And how many of us could wait another 5 or 10 years for an outcome that may still not be in our favour and spend 250 grand along the way? The first and foremost reason we started this was achieving some help for our people. And as we all get older, and qualifying operational service was the key to getting access to vans if you served after 1 April 1974. So we've been told by some service people we're wasting our time as we were only on a 2-year holiday, only performing garrison duties, playing tennis, just one big sports trip, rah, rah, rah. We know that totally different side of that. So the change of tack was determined by, let's not waste our funds on lawyers, sorry, Dennis, but continue with our own welfare for our members. By raising funds, it gives the committee an opportunity to help our members, something they struggled to get from Veterans Affairs and ACC. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news in reference to the 7489 service, but we can still help our own members with our Give a Little page. And I think Dennis and Frank, this is where you need to come in because I have probably waffled enough.
Oh, thanks, Peter. Thanks for the update. And I think it's part of the key strategy for 7489 was that we would have hoped to have gained recognition, and part of that is qualifying operational service, which then gave entitlements to Veterans Affairs.
Yeah.
And as Peter's pointed out, just the legal processes alone going to take maybe 5 or 10 years to get that all sorted up. And how many of us will be left after that lengthy period? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm getting older every day. So the change in tact, I think, is the recognition of what we were originally after, which is getting support for those who have served in Singapore across all 3 services between 1971 and 89, because some of those people who have the NZOSM Butterworth miss out on the qualifying operational service and access to compensation via Veterans Affairs. So that leaves us in this position where we now need to focus not on spending money for legal means, but to create a pool where we can help people gain access to the support they need for health conditions, whether they're incurred through your service in Singapore or just in general service, but don't have qualifying operational service, and find that perhaps ACC is not too responsive to the plight of former servicemen and women and the injuries that they suffer. So, yep, we've got the Give a Little page. It's live now. Is that right, Pete?
Yes, that's correct. It's live now, and there's $250 in there.
Yeah,
Well,
saw that.
there you go.
Please chip in 5, 10, whatever you can afford. It all helps our guys and women.
We're only a few dollars short of the target.
Yeah, a few noughts.
But in order to be of assistance, we need to have a significant number of dollars in the bank. And with current interest rates, maybe we might be able to pick up about, I don't know, $10,000 or $12,000 a year that we can release to in grants to people who have a need. Now, that doesn't cover some of the operations through the private health system. I know just several years ago, I think it was a hip operation was about 20K. However, if we can contribute in some way to help people, then we're doing the right job. And certainly part of the advocacy would be to help people make access with the RSA and or ACC and Veterans Affairs to try and argue the best for what we can get for the people who've served there, even though we're precluded under the law. So not a big change of direction, really. The focus has always been the same: obtaining support for those who've served, and now we're going to go about it a different way. And as Peter's pointed out, to do that, we need your help and assistance. Frank, I know you've got limited speaking ability today. Can you throw some thoughts on the table for us? What's the name?
I'm all in agreement with the decision to change direction and support the boys and girls of the Southeast Asian veterans. One thing I will point out, it won't stop me trying to get Blackpool reinstated to operational service from 1966. So I'm still plugging away at that. And I'm still waiting for OIAs to be answered. So, no, I think we're going in the right direction.
Cool. So
That's good to
there you
hear,
go.
Frank.
Feel free to comment underneath the video, and I've noticed that I think the idea or the concept behind changing to support has already been floated on the page, and there's been a few people commenting. And you also need to be aware that as an organisation, each month, at the end of the month, we balance up the books and take 10% of what remains and put that into a support fund. So we've already been quietly creating a support fund. It's just that, $3,000 current interest rates, we might be able to get you a lollipop after you've had a Band-Aid put on your leg. And we would like to achieve far more than that, because we all acknowledge that as you get older, some of the things that you brushed off when you were in your 20s come back and bite you a bit. So, so there you go. That's the thinking behind the changes and the change of direction. Will we still pursue a medal? Well, I think that's over to the membership and their thoughts and ideas. The information we have thus far suggests that it may not be a worthwhile mission. And in our remaining years, well, let's do something worthwhile for those who've served and are missing out. That's my view. Over to you for your views. And so there we go. Thanks for joining us.
Great.
Frank, anything on the Crossing the Bar this morning?
No, I have none this week. It's been a good week.
Excellent. I think I've got one somewhere. Let me just track it down. So much stuff on my screen. Good God. Here we go. So this is 800132 or 230175, Brigadier retired, Leslie W. Wright, MBE, RNZA, call time on the 30th of July in Auckland, aged 102. The Brigadier enlisted in the New Zealand Army during World War II and was commissioned into the RNZA, serving in 6th Field Regiment. He later served as the G3 operations at Headquarters Royal Artillery, New Zealand Division. He was later posted to Charlie Company 22 Battalion J Force as a major. Later on in the service, he was appointed 2IC of 2 NZ Regiment for service in Malaya from 1959 to November 61, for which he was awarded the MBE. In 1967, he made 3 visits to Vietnam as a Lieutenant Colonel, retiring from the Army in 1977 as a Brigadier. And that's the only one I have for today. Thank you for your service, sir. And 102, that was a good innings, and certainly spent some time not only in Malaya but also Vietnam and Japan. So quite an illustrious career. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them lest we forget.
So just a little reminder, if you're in the Tauranga Bay of Plenty area, close to the Tauranga RSA. Yesterday and today, between 10 and 2, I think it is the Veteran and Family Support Drop-in Centre in the Hinton Lounge at 1237 Cameron Road. So the RSA in 1237 Cameron Road. Drop in, have a chat, have a biscuit, and see if you can get some support for the through the RSA or through Veterans Affairs for your health conditions maybe that you're experiencing. Maybe there's some support available for doing lawns and things like that, even though that they're cutting the service back if you're over 80. You've got some entitlement, or if you have a terminal condition. So that's about us for today, folks. Take care wherever you are. Frank, happy journeys overseas for the next couple of months.
Looking forward to it.
Don't get shot out of the sky as you pass over the top of Gaza and Israel. and keep your bother boots safe when you get out of the plane in the UK. We don't want you to get tied up in any of those riots. So that's us. So thank you for joining us. As usual, if you've got a comment or something you would like to raise with the executive committee so that we can investigate on your behalf, drop a line underneath, either on the YouTube channel, comment there, and thank you for our subscribers. We're not going to charge you, it's a freebie. Or underneath the posting on the Southeast Asian Veterans page. So we read those. Well, I do my best. And to all of you who go onto every Facebook page where we post this that you've got access to and like it, I appreciate the likes, but it takes me nearly half an hour to work through them all. And there's only 3 or 4 of you I've been watching. Have a good day. Look after yourself. Look after your friends. Good on you, Frank. And we'll see you next week. Frank, you might join us from somewhere in the northern climes.
Yep. We'll see what we can do.
Okay, good on you. Thanks, folks.